Hello friends, welcome to Coder Thoughts, and today I'm going to talk about an interesting topic which is related to software engineering interviews. So I know a lot of people might be trying to get into software engineering, and also there are some software engineers who are trying to maybe switch their companies, or maybe they just got out of college and want to start a nice career in software engineering. And one of the things which they face is like software engineering interviews, and obviously it's not a single round that you can just clear one round and do, and there are many rounds in software engineering. And the goal of this particular video is to have a nice description on the different stages of the interviews in the software engineering, and why they exist, why they are structured in a particular way, and how they help the interviewer to understand what you bring to the table. Okay, so if you are also someone who is basically just new to taking interviews, or maybe structuring the interviews, maybe this video would be helpful to you as well. And let's get started. So the in software engineering, there are multiple rounds, as you guys might already know. And the first round is mostly related to data structures, because data structures is the most important part of software engineering. And the way companies do this round is different for different companies, and I guess it's important to know what company is expecting while you are interviewing. And also, I will just tell you like how it is and why it is. So the first round related to data structure would be either online data structure problem solving, like from a problem from HackerRank, or I don't know, Leet Code, or Codeliti, as they do in Germany. And this basically would be like, there will be either one problem which you have to solve in 1 hour, or maybe multiple problems which you have to solve in 1 hour or maybe 2 hour. And what their focus is while evaluating these are like, if there is one problem for 1 hour, or and they are like, if they are simple, it's like, do you know like basic data structure and things like that. If they are if the level is high, and if they have like multiple questions to do within an hour, which is kind of like impossible, then yes, it is kind of impossible at times. But what they want to see is like how well you are at evaluating yourself and solving a particular question in the given time. So you should always be free to move to another question if you are basically solving them. And yeah, it is not a time run that you have to, oh, if you solve every one of them, you will be then only selected. Some companies have this like, at least you should solve one, and you don't know what the company wants until you actually do. So don't run away with it. I have heard people from LinkedIn telling that, oh, it was so hard, I just left the question. Don't do that. It's basically like you don't know nothing. Okay, so always attempt these questions. There are even instances which happened with me, where I was not able to solve even a single question fully. Like, I was able to solve it partially, and still I got the interview. So it's more of like evaluating the person in the first hand, that whether he has a certain level of logic which the company wants. The logic could be or could not be in line with what like the logical problems could be or could not be in line with what they actually want. So it could be like, you know what, even if he solves this partially, he's a good fit. If he solves it totally, he is a good fit. If he solves this efficiently or not efficiently, it's still a good fit. So you don't know what the interviewer wants at that particular time. So just try and attempt the questions. Okay. And there are a lot of people who say that, hey, but why do you have so complicated questions? You know what, I solve these complicated questions in the company, and then when I was doing the job, it was such simple piece of shit. I do that literally every day, and there was no use of the questions which they asked in the first round of interview. And that is partially true and partially false at the same time. Because, see, companies hire software engineers because they want solutions from you. And as a software engineer, everyone knows that there are multiple ways you can get an output B from an input A. And what you are expected to do is get the most efficient way. So some of the companies like to have these kind of questions because they cannot tell you to make something which would be quite efficient. Okay, they cannot force you that, hey, you know what, just do this kind of thing and it would be efficient. They want you to come up with your own and do something like that. For example, let's say there was a world where there was no document dbs kind of thing, right? And then someone came up with mongodb, and I know it's not an efficient for all of the solutions, but it's not also but MySQL is also not efficient for all of the solutions, and these are two different products for two different working software solutions for optimized for different kinds of data, right? So this is what they want you to come up with, like they could be, they cannot tell you, but they want such uh, people with great intellect so that they can actually develop it. For example, and for people who say, hey, trees and everything are never going to be used, sorry, but yeah, they are used, and that's why we have a lot of these databases, indexes in the database, or file structure, ntfs, fat32, all of them. And you might not work on them regularly, but these are some real shit which a lot of people have developed. And most of these companies, when you talk about fang and everyone, they kind of have these kind of levels where, you know, they have people, they want like, yes, you need to develop some next level shit, you need to develop the best and the best of it. And they don't know what will be required, and that's why they hire you. So you have to be smarter, right? And so that is one of the thing. Then sometimes some of the companies have a different type of interview structure where the first round is basically something which evaluates your language knowledge, like whatever language you're using for developing, and basically all, the entire end-to-end solutions. They will give you a problem, oh, create a server which does xyz, and you have to do it totally end-to-end. These kind of problems are something which also really really good. And initially I used to be like, why are these even existing? But then when I evaluated, and when I had this interview with OneFootball, and I was given this kind of problem, like they gave me a solution to solve, and then I had to upload it and things like that. That is the point where I came to know that you can actually evaluate a lot of things. And this is also just like uh, they also analyzed my logical thing, because they gave me a server problem which was quite logical and also useful. And on the other hand, they also evaluated my language proficiency, and it also evaluated how much unit test cases or how much integration test cases or what kind of pattern do I use, and how comfortable I am with Golang, and do I know certain things of Golang that I should know. And these kind of interviews are generally placed in place because what companies want is like, hey, see, we don't want you to develop any new data base or something like that. What we need to do is use the existing basic things required for backend development and develop me this feature, because there is a competitor, or maybe they just want to get into the first stage of the release, that we just need to release the product. If it is efficient, it's very good, but we don't have enough time to develop a new database just for us, which is like just for us, or a new, I don't know what, infrastructure management just for us. So that is not what they want. They want like, take the basic things which are available, make the shit. We want the features, we don't want the internal structure as of now. More as the company grows, every company will require this, because at the end, when the company grows, then there is always this point from where the company cannot grow even further. So the way they can earn more profit is by developing efficient solution. Because let's say you develop an inefficient solution from A to B, from input A to output B, you would be using like 4 CPUs or something, but an efficient solution would use just 1 CPU. And that is the thing, right? They are saving on 3 server cores, so it's a lot. And that is then how they progress to have more profits. What is the right way? I would say both are, both of the first interviews are actually just like document based DBs and relational databases. They are like two separate things, totally designed for specific use cases. So both kind of first interviews make sense. You should, as a, if you're taking an interview or you're setting up an interview, you should be aware of what your company needs are, what your needs are as a team, because you also need people who are kind of similar but maybe higher, or yeah, uh, approximately at the same range. And why? Because then when you have kind of like similar things, some similar values and things like that, then you stay more with the team. It's more of like the fit, right? And that is how it goes. So let's I guess this is what most of the companies will have. I don't think I saw any different way of interviewing. Yeah, there are some screening questions some companies take as the first round, but I guess that is too basic, like in introduction or something, which I don't think is actually a first round for me, at least. Like I don't consider that as first round. uh, but yeah, if you want to know more about it or how to answer it, you can mention it in the comments, and then I will basically try to dissect that. I don't know if that even requires one video or something like that, but if you guys want it, we can make it, we can definitely make it happen. Then second round is mostly what we say, be I mean, it depends. Second, like if you are basically a fresher, then you will have more of the puzzle solving questions. So you would be given some puzzles like, what when how will you find the point where the egg will break if you drop it from X floors or something like that. And that is totally them trying to judge you based on your logical analytics. Yes, they had the programming one, which also judged your logical analysis, but as a fresher you are not expected to know a lot of things, right? As a fresher, you are expected to know data structures, you are expected to have good yeah just knowledge of everything, and kind of, not everything, but yeah, more of general knowledge as a software engineer, not real general knowledge. So yeah, but if you're experienced, you might have some questions related to the technologies that you have used. It would be like, how would you do a particular thing in a particular way for this or this, or how would you solve this scenario, or what do you think about it, or how do you update yourself, what is your day-to-day life routine, and things like that, which is kind of I guess quite important. So you should, as a software engineer, you should always be updated with what the latest things are. And for that, I generally attend the Google I/O, Microsoft Build, and even Apple, whatever they have, uh, developer conferences. It's also, and if you are a particular, like for me, it's like I can develop. I'm not I'm not like a specific developer. Basically, what I mean to say by specific, like a lot of people are like, I'm a Java developer, I'm a Python developer. uh, I basically am not I do not develop for a specific language. But uh, for people who are developing a specific language, or if you have interest in a particular language, I would say definitely go to or their conferences, or maybe watch them on YouTube or something, because they give a lot of knowledge on their conferences. I liked Golang, even though I used to develop on many other languages as well. I used to like Golang like anything. I still like it, but when I started attending their conferences, I came to know like there is so much into the programming language that I can actually optimize, you know. And I don't think this is just for Golang. This could be for any language that you work on, any language that you maybe want to learn or have an expertise. If you go to their conferences, they would be talking about their latest version and how you can actually optimize your program for that particular use case. So they put some really really great examples, and I guess everyone should at least watch it for at least one programming language. Yeah, it's awesome. And yeah, what else? If you yeah, if you have this round and you pass it, then the next round is some again a puzzle, or maybe a hand coding or whatever. For freshers, it's mostly like coding all the time, but it could be also uh, if you're like not just a fresher, you have worked or something, it could be a system design interview. It depends on different countries. In India, I never got a system design interview, but when I came here, when I was applying to German companies, and they were like, "Oh, we have a system design interview," I was like, that's cool. I mean, I'm talking about from my experience in India. Not of course we have system design interviews, but for more years of experience, uh, which is totally fine, and I guess that's what they require. So yeah, system design interviews, I guess, are very much broad topic. But what I can say to you is like it is very much important, uh, especially when you are already like experienced. You should know how to design a system, and so that you know you can manage the entire thing all by yourself, and you're going in a growth process. And also it also shows them how much of issues you have faced while scaling, or how much of the like how how much traffic did your code handle. It does not give them the exact figure, but it gives them a guess, like, yeah, this guy faced this issue, so probably he was working in a company and facing some real life challenges. So basically that is what they want to understand, like you understand the challenges of programming and you design your systems very well, right? um, so that is one of the things. um, and yes, this is it. And I guess there are some, I guess for leaders there are some other interviews as well, but I am not in a lead position yet, so I do not know, and I don't think I should talk about it. But this is what, if you want to become a software engineer, or you're looking for a switch, yeah, mid senior or senior kind of thing. I guess this video will help you a lot. Okay, do subscribe, like, and comment if you have any other questions. And goodbye.